Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thank you for watching this YouTube video. Now I've been watching quite a few videos online from some of my old friends on YouTube. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook and said, oh, somebody's made a video about you, and I felt obliged to watch. I thought maybe there's going to be something special, maybe somebody's worshipping the king as they should do. And when I went to it, it's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. And in fact, I think this is possibly one of his best videos. Alright? It's hard to actually decipher whether this is actually an insult or a compliment, because he says, this guy actually was one of the reasons why I started making videos in the first place. So in some ways, King Scribe, or the Scribe, because it was that back in the past, must have been somebody who influenced you, who inspired you to make videos. So in some ways I actually see that as a compliment. So I'm not really going to go out and go on an all-out attack and say this person's a scumbag or whatever, but I think people have to calm the fuck down. Alright? Nobody can be 100% common sense all the time. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's Adam and Steve in the Garden of Eden. You can't be like that. Nobody can be 100% sensible all the time. In fact, it gets a little bit boring. What we want really is somebody with a bit of oomph factor. Somebody who can have a laugh. Somebody who can have fun on YouTube. That's what YouTube is about. It's about interaction. It's about having fun. You don't want somebody sitting in front of the camera with a monotone and just all the time. I mean, that's a little bit boring. What you want is somebody who has a little bit of personality. Now, I tend to overdo it a little bit. I will admit that sometimes I'm at fault with this, but I wouldn't actually consider myself as a troll on YouTube. Trolls are a little bit different. If these people actually claim that I'm a troll in some ways, or I'm sinking at the same level as a troll, you have to remember that a troll is somebody who is not a good person. They go out and they attack vulnerability in people, and they do it so they can wind that specific person up, not to attack in a group, not actually to get some cult members of a group to try to attack them. That's different. That's something that some types of people actually do. But the troll, by definition, what these people actually mean is somebody who is a little bit more evil, because they can actually troll people to death. And they actually go on Facebook accounts where children have died and find the parents of them and troll them too. So these people are not good. So actually putting somebody like me, or even Matrix Lord 212 in the same category, I think it's a little bit unfair. You can't actually call Matrix Lord the same level as a troll who's trolling somebody whose son has just died from whatever. You can't actually compare them to the same level. Somebody having a laugh in front of the camera is a lot different than somebody who is going out specifically targeting vulnerability in people and exposing it, and then just carrying on attacking them, so attacking young children until they take their own lives. That is what people actually mean by real trolls. So when people actually put the word troll on somebody, it's actually doing them a disservice if they are not actual trolls. So me making a porn review, me being a bit hyper in front of the camera during a Doctor Who video, me taking the piss sometimes, but not attacking anybody specifically. So if I'm making a video talking about how you know, it's nice to actually see some lovely ladies on camera, and then people say, oh, you're a troll, you're just as bad as those people who are trolling kids to death. It's not true. It just isn't true. It makes me look like the arsehole. That's why I have to stand up for myself in that way. I don't think the person was actually meaning to actually attack, although maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe it's just letting off steam a little bit. And of course, you know, people actually fall out of friendship on Facebook and YouTube for some trivial reasons. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it always happens. You can't remain friends with everybody forever. It's impossible. But while we're all friends, you know, we might as well get on sometimes, you know. But it's one of those things, you know, you can't please everybody 100% of the time. But this thing about a lack of irony, I am noticing more and more that people seem to lack irony. They don't comprehend it. They actually mistake it for trolling. I mean, even the comedians back in the Monty Python days would nowadays be considered trolls online. They're not. They're not trolls in that definition. They don't. Do you realise they don't even have a proper definition of what a troll actually is? You know, people call people who make simple jokes on YouTube a troll. And it's right up to the people who actually cause the death of youngsters, who actually go around exposing youngsters, you know, videos, stuff on YouTube or something to their classmates, so they actually feel really depressed and then try to pick on their vulnerability to meet them and stuff like that. That's what a real troll actually is. It's not somebody like myself, like Matrix Lord, like most of us actually online. That we can be a bit dicks sometimes, but we're not that level. We're certainly not that bad either. But whatever, I mean, some people just can't stand anybody having a bit of fun on YouTube. You know, a comical video isn't meant to be taken seriously, right? Somebody made it out that my videos were all bad, terrible, nasty. You know, I never make a sensible video. I do make sensible videos. I understand full well the weakness of, let's say, the jester spirit. The jester spirit would actually be the joker inside you. There is a weakness to it in the fact that it can go a little bit too far. If you don't actually control it, it can actually be a bit juvenile. But when it's actually under comical videos, it's meant to be that way. So what exactly are you supposed to do? You're supposed to not act in character on a video that's actually saying that it's comical, that's a comedy video. You're not exactly going to be really sensible, although sometimes they actually use a bit of deadpan humour, which is a bit different. So people have to, you know, grow some balls on this and actually understand that sometimes satire and jokes are supposed to be taken that way, as jokes and satire. Now, as for, you know, sinking down to the level of trolls, I have made mistakes in the past, I will admit. I've made a few mistakes. Perhaps I should have gone a little bit less on AS 2009's backside back in the past. You know, perhaps I shouldn't have rode him quite as hard. But then later it was found that he had been doing some weird things outside of offline, and he was in prison for it. So in some ways, you know, it's probably not that bad, but still it probably did go a little bit too far. I understand that bit. But to actually class somebody as just sinking down to the level of trolls and juvenile, etc., I think is totally unfair. But whatever, I mean, people have a right to an opinion, and it's just one of those things. Nobody can like you. Nobody 100% likes somebody or agrees with them. You always find some fault in somebody. And it's strange that on YouTube and Facebook, they're looking for the saviour, for the Jesus Christ superstar, who never makes a mistake, who never makes any errors in their life, and is perfect, and that person doesn't exist. So once that person actually steps out of line, they all go against them. Now, let me just say something about Matrix Lord 212, and even the other guys out there. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing actually wrong with that guy, alright? I mean, I understand he might do a little bit of winding up now and again. We all do. It's Facebook and YouTube. But the demonization of him makes him sound like he's a serial killer, that he's been killing kids or something. In fact, you're placing him on the same level as somebody who's been murdering babies or something. Yeah, and I disagree with that. I think people are going way overboard on this. So, you know, people with videos, for instance, somebody's video was actually flagged down, and I understand the guy's reaction to it in a way, because he probably doesn't actually understand how YouTube works. But within 6 months, that strike will be removed. People are always doing stupid things like that, you know, and it's a mistake. Yeah, you shouldn't actually do that to your friends. But as long as there's no other strikes on the channel, it should be okay. And because it's only the first strike, I mean, you should be alright with that. So within a few months, that'll be removed and you'll be fine again. But, I mean, I've had friends in the past on YouTube, and it's not... In some ways, there was a channel I had called Faultler ages ago, and I made a video about a friend on YouTube taking the piss, and then he flagged it down. The video, but I didn't really hold it against them for a very long time. I don't think anybody should do that. I think people should actually forget and move on with this sort of thing. It's certainly not healthy to have this sort of hatred in one's heart for such a long period of time. And as for the person who's made these few recent videos, I really don't have anything against them. In fact, I think he was actually given a few compliments there along the way, as well as saying it's a bit juvenile. Yeah, but juvenile, making videos of comical nature, they're usually a little bit juvenile in nature anyway. The rest of my videos tend to be a bit more sensible, so if you're not watching it, that's fair enough, but if you are, whatever. You know, it's if you're only seeing the worst videos I've made, then you won't actually know the good videos I make. So you can't actually say my whole channel is based on juvenile behavior. It isn't. In fact, most of it's actually common sense and nice. It's good stuff. I do like to wind up the cult members online, but I think everybody does. And even that, having a sense of humour, is that really juvenile? Is it really? I mean, don't people as they get older start to develop a more sophisticated sense of humour? And some people actually don't like it. They tend to turn against people like that. They try to find faults in it for some reason. I'm not sure why. A irony deficiency is not a good thing. Right? You cannot look at irony and say, I have to take this seriously. Never take irony seriously, because it shouldn't be taken that way. If it does, you won't get it. And I did see that. I don't think some of these people get it. They actually look at it as if it's a bad thing. And you know, sometimes you treat it as if you've murdered somebody. That's what you treat it like online if you make a joke. Me making a porn review back in the past, people suddenly say, well, you're sinking to the level of trolls. That's not sinking to the level of trolls. You can't call a comedian who actually just takes the piss with a video. I mean, it's not taking a piss out of an individual. It's taking a piss out of circumstances and using YouTube's own rules and regulations and twisting them, throwing them up in the air. That's comedy. That's somebody who's just having a laugh on YouTube. I think people should warm up to that and not take it too seriously. But yeah, I also understand that with the jester spirit, that's what I call the jester spirit would be a bit like the red devil, you know, a little devil. You have to control the devil side, otherwise he gets a little bit juvenile in nature. But whatever, I mean, he can do some decent things too if he's controlled enough. But as long as it's in the right video settings as well. People do take things the wrong way on the internet. What I don't understand is how people can actually develop a hatred for this sort of thing. It's going a little bit too far. And yeah, I've got nothing against any of the Whovians or anything like that. I'll be honest, I've got nothing against them. But there seems to be like an ongoing war between all of them at some point. You got to remember, no Whovian in our little land of Whovians will ever be big on YouTube, right? Ever. I make videos on YouTube, Doctor Who, and because of that, that will never help me along the way on YouTube. Definitely not. Although Emergency Awesome has done pretty well, he is actually hugely sponsored. He's probably a shill put there by the production team of various papers, etc., so they can actually promote him a bit better. That's how he's got as far as he has. But there's no real love for Doctor Who there. But yeah, I still make sensible videos, and I still will do. If people, you know, turn against me or just don't like me for some reason, even though I've helped support them in the past, it's fair enough. I mean, I can't actually please everybody 100% of the time, and sooner or later I'm going to say something to people that might actually slightly offend them. But don't take it too seriously. You know, it's just one of those things online. If people do take things the wrong way, just look at things the way they should be looked at. It's not meant to be taken seriously, half my videos. And I don't think, you know, Major Claw 212 is a serial killer or an evil bastard on the internet. I just don't think he is like that. I think people are treating him the wrong way, and it's a smear campaign against his character. People shouldn't do that to people online. I will say Matrix Lord 212 is a stand-up guy and decent. And I do mean that in the best possible way, because people are smearing his name. I've seen it online. I think people don't realise what they're actually doing sometimes. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye for now. See you later.